Hey everybody, welcome again to another episode of Just for Fun Reviews. I'm your host, Azzy, and with me as always is my boy Roy, and today we're talking about the season finale of The Last of Us, Look to the Light. Episode 9, Look to the Light, anyway.
Or look for the light. Look for the light.
Look for the light. Gotcha. So, as we normally do, if you haven't seen the episode, this beginning is going to be spoiler-free, and then towards the end, we're going to let you know when we're going to get into some spoilers. So, yeah. Everyone who has played the game basically knew what the plot of this was going to be before we got into it, but we got a little bit of extra at the beginning, and what's at this point become kind of like mostly modus operandi with the series is that we take a dip into the past, where Ashley Johnson finally gets to make her appearance. And again, not going to go into specific details, but the anguish that the beginning of this episode put me through, because I'm a really big fan of Ashley Johnson. I watch a lot of Critical Role, and like the parasocial relationship was like gripping me because like I had to remind myself after the fact that she is okay, and that this is just a character.
Yeah, very, very emotional opening. Yeah.
Oh, and kudos to the actress who plays Marlene. I don't have it up at the moment, but god damn, she did such an amazing job. So this is the point in the game where Joel and Ellie finally arrive at what they hope to be the destination where they can find the Fireflies and the resolution of the story. So from your initial impressions after you watched it, Roy, how'd you feel it was as an adaptation of the game?
Azzy, let me tell you something. I already made my rant on how hard it was to watch this damn episode because my internet sucks. But
you worked for it. You worked for it today.
But minus the beginning, minus the little opening thing we had.
Yeah.
Damn, if this wasn't the most accurate game to film, beat by beat, shot for shot, closest thing we ever had to get us gamers.
Would you say that The Last of Us has with this episode has effectively cemented itself as the gold standard from this point on for video game to movie or TV show adaptations?
That's like hard to say. I'm not going to say this was not good. This was probably the best adaptation we've had, but this is where it kind of like draws the line because this is a TV series. Now, if there was this was a movie, it might have been a little bit different. Now, I guarantee you.
Oh, the whole thing would have been different. That's for sure. Like in most cases, like I can't off the top of my head really think of any other like video game to TV show adaptations before this point. They've mostly been movie adaptations, and with movies, you have a lot less time for character development, for world building. It becomes that much harder adapting a 15-hour interactive medium into a movie.
I guarantee you somebody's going to take
but maybe that's why this was the right move. Maybe we always needed these things to be a series as opposed to being a movie. Maybe movies just, depending on the game that they're adapting, maybe movies are just the wrong move at this point.
But yeah, I guarantee you somebody's going to take all these episodes, condense them down, and maybe make it into maybe like a 2-3 hour short film kind of deal for it. But I mean,
I hope not. It'll be like a clip show.
I can for real. I can honestly see people totally getting rid of episode 3 with Bill and stuff, because that was just a backstory for his character and how he knows Tess and Joel and stuff like that.
Man, maybe some homophobic motherfuckers.
I'm not saying it's a bad episode, but it is
No, of course not.
as far as
We
like the whole. That's the one. I mean, like I said, it's a good episode. It's fucking amazing, but it's like the one episode doesn't really connect all of it together. You know, that can stand alone as its own thing.
honestly, like as an adaptation, like if they had tried to make a movie adaptation of this game without following the actual plot and just using the world and the setting, episode 3 would have been it. Like I said that during our review, I felt like it, as a microcosm, it worked so very well to hit the themes of what The Last of Us was set in that world as a backdrop. Like we picked up everything that we needed. But no, it's just like this is what everyone's going to be talking. No. I'm wondering if this is going to hit you when I say it. But watching this episode, I came to the realization that this season of television, it's like, what if the last season of Game of Thrones was good? Think about it. Think about the episode. Think about the episode with like the last episode that we got with the Horde and the Bloater. Imagine that was like the long night when the White Walkers showed up at Winterfell. That whole deal, and then afterward, just like with Game of Thrones, afterward no longer we had the zombies, and was very much dealing with what left and what remained. You know, dealing with the people, the real horror in the situation. Like, but good, you know.
Right.
I didn't really feel that the zombies were missing, and the danger and the suspense that was built up from that point on was still gripping enough in order to keep me invested in the show and the characters. Unlike Game of Thrones, and I'm not trying to just shit on Game of Thrones. It's just like I realized I started like humans are good at making at pattern recognition, and I just realized like this kind of feels like the same generic beats that we got from Game of Thrones. Only Game of Thrones was shit. I love this. Maybe that was just me.
Anyway, Last of Us.
No comment.
No. But yeah, like I already saw the comment about Cory Barlog and God of War TV adaptation. And, like they got some, they pretty like you said, pretty much set the standard. Like how it's like the first opening act being fucking amazing, and then it's like how the hell we were supposed to follow that,
Basically. And let me say this. If you didn't play the game, if this is your first introduction to it, I saw this really great TikTok where this girl was angry because she feels like the gaming community have been gatekeeping these really great stories and never told anybody about them.
Get your ass up and play the game.
Yeah,
or go
like
on
when
YouTube.
the fuck the gaming video games have such great stories.
Yeah, or just go on YouTube and watch cuts. Like there's literally videos of the games, just cutscenes. Just watch those.
Yeah,
you might miss the cool gameplay tidbits here and there, but I mean,
it's just like this could be the thing that opens the floodgates, and we'll probably still get a lot of shit. We'll probably have to wade through a lot of really bad adaptations, but at the very least, this should open up the opportunities for a lot of great stories that we've had in the past in a plethora of games that could get big budget adaptations. But yeah, if you didn't play the game, and this is your first introduction to The Last of Us, this series in particular, and you came away from this episode feeling kind of icky, conflicted, that's the point. And that's exactly how you're supposed to be feeling. This is going to be, for some people, the culmination, the end of this episode is going to be kind of like a straight shot, like, I'm fine with this. And for other people, it's going to make you feel very weird.
Well,
and there's going to be discussion. Go ahead.
Well, I'm more speaking towards, like, I'm not trying to get into spoiler territory or anything.
No.
But
I'd say that.
Yeah, but like I said, I played the game first and then watched the show. My opinions on this ending for the game still pretty much the same ending for the show. I never cared for this ending. I never liked it.
It's hard for a lot of people.
Like
It's hard for a lot of people.
that's why like everybody's like, oh, The Last of Us is such a great game. It's like, yeah, to me, it's a good game. I just never liked the ending because it's just so, abrupt and it's over. And I'm like, you end it on that,
Well,
luckily,
if you're gonna be upset with an ending, being in that state of like after a magic show, being left wanting more is a good thing in its own way, don't you think? Because it was that good enough for you that you're like, please, sir, I want some more.
well, see, back then it was just the one game, and then it's like
True.
that's it. You're gonna end it off on that, and luckily we did get part two, and that ending, even though majority didn't like it, I thought it was way better than how the first one ended. I felt like this is how it ends. Even though there's like somewhat talks about part three, I hope they just leave it with part two.
I mean, we'll see. You gotta know when to cut the cord.
Spoilatory.
No, you gotta know when is the right time to end something, like with Stranger Things. Because if you stretch it out for far too long, then you're gonna lose a lot of your audience as like the main themes kind of get stretched to their limits and become obsolete effectively, and suddenly you're meandering like The Walking Dead, and it's just like a torture simulator. But anyway, let's go ahead and give our ratings for this episode and basically for the entire series as of now. And I would have to give this episode a fucking 10. And I hate doing that because like I feel like I do it far too often. But if the show can make me cry within like the first 10 to 15 minutes and then leaves me in a state of anguish and like turmoil throughout the rest of the freaking episode, yeah, I have to give it a fucking 10.
Tears, automatic 10.
Yes.
I don't know, man. It's like I'm conflicted. Like, it's not like I didn't like the episode, and this was one of the issues that was brought up before this episode even aired on how short it was. And I mean, I'll just say fuck it. I'll give it a 10. It's just like, I wanted a little bit more.
9.8.
Yeah, if I was gonna be like that, but I don't do the 0.8s and shit like that. But yeah, overall the series,
okay,
the series, I give it a perfect 10 too.
All right. So yeah, if you haven't seen the episode yet, thank you so much for watching. Please get the hell out, go watch it, come back, hear what the hell we got to say about it. But from this point on, we could be talking spoilers. Oh, god damn it, Ashley Johnson. Oh, fucking good.
I'm sorry. Like the whole time she's running through the forest and everything, and I'm thinking Ellie's running around. Because god damn it, if you didn't know, Ashley Johnson is the voice actor for Ellie in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Did you like the meta symbolic nature of it, where like the original Ellie is giving birth to Ellie for this show?
Yes.
And how did you feel about this kind of coming with a kind of like unlike the game, giving us more of an idea or like a guess, not really a confirmation, but necessarily a guess as to why Ellie is immune?
I mean,
basically, because like we didn't get that in the game.
I think they did have a short like a comic book or something. I don't know if it did mention that stuff with Ellie's mother or anything like that. But I mean, it's just common sense. It's like, okay, so she's immune. So how would she be immune?
Well, I mean, there's an entire film theory or game theory on YouTube that goes over what it could be. So I don't think it was very clear in the game.
Well, I mean, I'm just like me thinking like, okay, how could she be immune? Maybe she was infected at birth or something like that, and that's how it developed like that. So in this case, kind of like that. It's almost like Blade 2. I mean, mother gets bit by a vampire, and now that dude's a vampire. And he might have some weaknesses and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't think I'm happy about you comparing anything to Blade 2.
I mean, not Blade 2, but Blade in general, whatever.
There were no vats of red Kool-Aid anywhere. But how about this, man? Thanks to that beginning section and the part with Anna, we now know that Ellie's life was spared twice because the people who cared about her lied in order to save her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that scene with Marlene, man, I was like, don't bitch out. He's like, kill me, and she walked away. I was like, no, don't do it.
No, they were going to kill her. They couldn't not do it. But God damn it, I didn't want him to. I didn't want him to.
I was about to say, but like it was, brought up. It's like they knew each other their whole lives, pretty much.
Yeah. In a kind of like time repeating itself kind of craziness, because Ellie would also find a friend that was very Marlene-esque, and lose her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. I get what you're saying, that the episode felt a little bit short, but it's always about that time management and the notion, like, when you cut out all the game elements, then yeah, the story is going to kind of be accelerated in that sort of way. And like I keep having to repeat every time we do a review like this, the violence is never supposed to be center stage. That's why I really like the design, the directional choice that they made when it came to Joel's rampage. The music was low, almost muted. We didn't really linger on a particular like shootout for too long. It was almost like we were in his head, and he's so blinded by like this solitary goal of rescuing Ellie that he's not even paying attention to the lives that he's taking. It's just like, flash, this guy's dead, this guy's dead, this guy's dead.
Yeah, I mean, I like, when it first was going on, I was like, okay, there's not a lot of, you don't hear that much of the gunfire and shit. You just see him just shooting people, and like, yeah, you see people like begging for their lives, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because he knows the consequences of what he's doing, so that's why he's doing it.
Yeah, but they did a great job setting this up as being almost like a phobia for him, because in his mind, every time he cares about somebody, he fails them. He cared about his daughter, he couldn't save her. He cared about Tess, he couldn't save her. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. He didn't care about anything from this point anymore, except for saving his surrogate daughter.
Oh yeah.
Even if it meant that she was never gonna believe him.
Yeah, bringing up Ellie as well. She was pretty much broken in this episode anyway from the start, because you see her and she's just being quiet. She's not her normal self, being smart mouth and funny. She, like, there's something going inside of her head well before she goes into the Fireflies and everything. But it's like,
it's relatable though. If for anyone who's experienced any form of PTSD from a traumatic situation, it lingers for a while. Like I remember when I had to break up a dog fight before, just like a bit of barking or someone going down the stairs too fast, because I live in a basement, made me start like hyperventilating and dashing for the stairs, thinking I need to go and save something. Yeah, that's not something you can believably just recover from, especially when like you were about to be raped in a burning building, just after you were about to be chopped to bits and made into some freaking stew for a gaggle of fucking people. Yeah, I was perfectly fine with all of that. Random thing though, it's like, how long can Chef Boyardee last?
Hey, first of all, Chef Boyardee, overrated, okay? Man.
Hey, beefaroni is delicious.
Overrated, okay? nasty ass meatballs. They probably.
What do you want? Sketties? Skettios with Franks?
Oh hell! Oh god, no. Anyway.
Yeah, no. So yeah, by the end, when it's obvious to everyone that Ellie does not believe Joel's bullshit, and even the point where she asks him to swear to her, and he's not capable of doing it quick enough for her to be believable. If you came away with that thinking that Ellie did not actually believe him, then yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel. If you feel very conflicted because he just like, oh, and hold up. I think they did a better job with the explanation on how they were going to derive a cure from Ellie than they did in the game. I can't remember if in the game they specifically said, well, no, because I feel like in the game they specifically said that they were going to make a vaccine, which only after the fact, with hindsight, a lot of like annoying Last of Us fans
I'm pretty sure
will immediately jump onto like the actual science and how a vaccine wouldn't actually do anything. You can't make a vaccine for a fungal infection. So Joel killed the firefly. Joel killing the fireflies isn't that bad. That is not the point. It's not the point as to whether it's not the point whether or not it was going to work, because no one there knew the actual fucking science. The point is that all of them believed that it was possible to save everybody. And Joel didn't care.
Okay, this is where I'm gonna come in here. You know, I kind of remember them saying along the lines the science behind it. Maybe not so much for the first one, but I do remember part two spoilers if you haven't played part two. When you go back to the hospital as Ellie, because she goes back to see what really happened.
There's spoilers for me too. I didn't play the game.
All right, there's a scene where she's like, it's just files you see. And you read the files and how you find out it's in the brain and everything like that, and how they would have to do an operation on the brain to get what they really wanted, you know? So yeah, there was an explanation, but it wasn't probably not said in the first game.
Yeah, but you have like, because making a reference to game theory again, they did a whole thing exposing the notion that at least as it was presented in the first game, the Fireflies plan wouldn't have worked, and then came up with a different explanation as to how possibly Ellie was immune, because again the first game didn't exactly go into specific details. But that's not the fucking point. It's never the point as to whether or not it would actually work. The point is that everyone there believed that it could work, and Joel didn't care and stole and robbed Ellie of her choice anyway. Because like it does a really great, like the whole part where Joel tries to kind of get her to change her mind, go back with her to Jackson, and she's like, it's got to be for something. That was it right there. That was the last real like thought on consent from Ellie for this procedure, regardless of what it was. She needed all those deaths for the people that she cared about. She needed them to mean something, and Joel stole that choice from her. That's the bottom line. Okay, all you Joel apologists. Okay, not that I think that I would do anything different if I were in his shoes, but it's like trying to like blase the situation away by saying that the Fireflies plan wouldn't have worked robs the scene of its intended purpose, robs the story of its intended purpose. Sorry, it's complicated. It's supposed to be complicated. It's supposed to drive conversation. It's supposed to be it's supposed to divide the community.
Yeah. I mean,
in a healthy way. Don't be an asshole about it.
Yeah, which I can understand why certain people were turned off by part two. You know, because it takes that exact same lesson, that exact same spiel that I just did, and turns it up to 12. Oh yeah. So just letting you know, fellas, ladies, season 2, get ready. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. First episode, if it's the first episode, if it's the first,
I'm gonna have to get me a fucking Captain America shield for how much I'm gonna have to defend this goddamn show.
Oh yeah, Because I can already see people like, how could you do that? Not now. If
And we get like the Spartans up.
And like I said, spoilers for part 2. If you don't know, should I say what's gonna happen?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
The internet is real. If people want to spoil themselves for it, they can do that. We don't have to do it for them.
Just know there's some things you're gonna like and some things you don't gonna like. Overall, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was the best game. If, like I said, I had my top 10 list, this might be my number 2 favorite game of all time. So it makes some bold ass choices. Just be ready.
I'm fucking tired.
I'll make one more thing. I also like the idea with the giraffe.
Yeah.
We didn't mention the giraffes. So
we got the giraffe scene.
Even though my internet didn't want me to see the giraffes.
I just wanted you to actually download the episode, but then like the giraffe scene was corrupted.
If I download that thing for real, and if it is corrupted, me and HBO, we're gonna have a talk, okay?
Sorry, the giraffe had to be censored in North Carolina.
The giraffes were kissing each other, so they had to censor it in India.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, if you watched the episode, what'd you think about it? Drop a comment down below. Were you cool with the ending? Were you not so cool with the ending? Be respectful of people who might not have seen the episode. Hit the like button, subscribe, do the doodly do, however you want to do it.
Doodly do.
And we will see you for the bonus episode that I only just found out today that we're getting. Whatever that may be.
The making of.
Is it?
That's the only thing I see on HBO right now, anyway.
Hey, I'm going to cross my fingers. If it's the making of, I'll just enjoy it.
All right.
Nonetheless, until the next time, see y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.